Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, new, old. It is time for the big boys to play. I am, of course, talking about the Blizzard ANZ HGC qualifiers. It's the top 8 time here on GameStar TV. If you watched last week's qualifiers, you'll know that the teams Mad Cos Bad, Pocket Me Lighter, Ethereal, Ground Zero, and Crimson proved the best to join Darksided, Nomia, and NMD in the big leagues for this week. Before we go any further, we do have giveaways in case anybody was asking. I know I copped a few PMs. We are giving away Garrosh tonight, thanks to our friends over at Blizzard ANZ. As always, you can get involved with that by typing !GS HOTS into the Twitch chat, but not just yet. We're going to open that up in the middle of the first game's champ select, so don't jump the gun just yet. First game will be Nomia versus Crimson, going up against each other on Dragonshire. Now, the way that things work is that the higher seed team either gets first choice of hero, or they get, first ban or first map choice. Nomia have decided to take the map choice, and they're going to be playing on their home turf. So that means that the new members are being crowned tonight, I suppose. Ryu and I believe the last one slips my mind, but you'll see them in action a little bit later on. Apologies for that one. And the Crimson lads, they toppled the Giant Slayers Darksided in the ODC after an amazing set. And last week they executed so well throughout their games on Towers of Doom, especially, almost doing a flawless victory. I think there was only one death for their side, so that was pretty damn good. So without further ado, we're going to jump straight into it, ladies and gentlemen. Deep end, no floaty style, so I'm going to be introducing your casters. And now this man is fresh off the plane from Ukraine, and you shall now refer to him as Rap God. And he's joined by the ANZ version of Gillyweed, only better. I'm, of course, talking about Skimmy and Van. Take it away, guys.
Okay, folks, that's the old Aussie charm that we love and we miss, and that's something that you don't get when you're in Europe. How are you, Vandy? How are you feeling?
I'm feeling well. I heard you were sick, but you're already ramped up. I'm going at 10,000% today. I'm ready to get into some hots. We had a practice session yesterday. We're ready for the real deal.
Let's jump into this one. Looks like both teams are ready to crack on in. So it is game number 1 on Dragonshire. A brand new Nomia up against Crimson Esports. Let's see what these teams can rock and roll with.
Absolutely, cannot wait. And I mean, exactly as Kit Fox was telling us, so Penta and Ryumak, no strangers to the scene, but definitely strangers to the Nomia roster. And that's definitely what we want to see, especially in terms of roles needing to be switched up a little bit. Arcana, as we know, he was playing the flex role for Nomia, same for Robodoba, who's in that warrior role. So Nomia, we were discussing yesterday, they had to switch things up. We'd like to kind of see who's going to be playing what today.
Yeah, obviously the legacy behind the name, the brand that Nomia created is still there, but it's a new team. And for the first time in a long time, really, for ANZ, it's not a foregone conclusion as to who's going to be getting that prized position to go to BlizzCon to represent the ANZ region. It really is up for grabs. You've got these two teams looking to show their might. As you already mentioned, yeah, Arcana leaving to Europe. He was their shot caller and their captain. And obviously Robodoba being the main tank in that regard too. But Crimson Gaming, they've been on the hustle. They've been doing so well. They boot camped. They did much the same as what Darksided did. And as a result of that, they actually beat Darksided in the ODC we had a couple of weeks back.
Absolutely. I mean, that was going to be my next point that you just brought up. So in the ODC that we had, which we were, more than happy to cast and a part of, it was a great day. And Crimson, like you said, took it out 2-1 against Darksided, which I think was an upset for a lot of people. So really showing that they're ready, they're serious, and they're putting in the hard yards. So I'd love to see how they're going to go up against the Nomia boys. Reform Nomia.
A reformed Nomia, is it still the Nomia that we know and love? Mm-hmm. Many would argue they are now an underdog because they're the newest roster. Despite having those 3 members that have been gelled and stuck around for such a long time, 2 new people into the fold of things. It does take time to understand because you've got obviously the likes of shot calling and playstyle preferences to deal with. So is that going to be a factor here? Obviously, the experience between both Penta and Rio is high. They've been around in the scene for quite a while. And if not in the scene specifically for Heroes of the Storm, they have that MOBA backing that can really obviously lend a hand and lend some support. But let's talk about the bans themselves, Vandy. Straight on into it. Nothing too out of the ordinary. It's what we've been seeing for the last few weeks, really, on this patch. Anyway, a big priority on those supports. Ban out the Oriole, banning out the Tesla, and first picking in with the Luther.
I mean, this definitely is paying homage to the meta we're seeing at the moment, where double support is the go-to. And a lot of the reason why is because it's about getting that sustain. Picks like Oriel, Tacita, they work so well together. You become basically, you've got so much sustainability. It just becomes very, very difficult to out-sustain your team fight, especially if the fight can drag on for a while, which is kind of the composition you go for. And by taking those, as you said, it then leaves the next sort of prioritized as support left on the board, which is Uther. So immediately I'm thinking on the side of Crimson, we're going to see either that Uther Stitches sort of combo or even the Greymane, which is nice that they took it. But Genji is also still on the board, pairs quite nicely with Uther.
Yeah, Genji is in a bit of a weird spot right now. He's still so strong despite the changes that have come across to him, but especially in solo queue, people have been moaning about how different he is and how much of an impact that he can actually exert on the board. And even in the competitive scene, he doesn't seem to have that same flair that he once did have. But Greymane enough is going to be locked in there. The dive boys, as we like to call them, plenty of protection, plenty of ability to get in your face, cause some troubles, and cause some of those problems. But this is Dragon Shy. Typically speaking, you would have that free man set up with the Valor, with the Greymane looking to push on down. But with that already being taken away, that is no longer going to be the case.
It becomes, I guess, a less optimal way. If you still want to run the Valor, you don't have that battery, you don't have the Oriole. And I mean, Uther, he's great at that burst healing. We always harp on about it. But the sustained healing, it's definitely lacking. I mean, you can still pair him off with things like a Rhaegar, Malfurion if you want to go double support. It's just not the most optimal pairing for obvious reasons. Now, Arthas I like. I mean, solo lane, it really opens up a lot of that gank potential. As you said, pairs very nicely with Greymane. But then in response to that, could we see a Leoric coming out? I mean, he wouldn't be too far-fetched on something like this. But no, we've got a Muradin and a Genji. So Genji, I knew a team had to take him up. I was just wondering who would be the first.
I was just going to say, Muradin and Genji, these are picks that they're extremely comfortable on. Both Leica and Altivian, we saw them pretty much run this religiously. Every time this was available for them during that ODC, they ran it. They got so much success with it, even against Chromie, which seems to be a bit of a staple point, really, in the ANZ region, where you either hate it, you love it, but one person's known for playing it. And they brought it to him and said, look, if you're going to try and bust out that one trick on us, we have the response, we have the answers, we have the potential to get onto that backline and force that pick to not be as comfortable and as pressured as it usually is.
Have to agree with you right there, Skimmy, because Leica, as we know, if that Muradin is up, he feels very confident playing the Muradin. Muradin has well received a couple of, I guess, love buffs in the terms of his health, and a lot of people, even Robodobo himself, was saying that he really did like the new Muradin, and he feels a lot stronger. I guess they were just trying to adjust the power levels against all the warriors across the board, and Genji, like you said, Altivian very at home on that. So need to be a lot of respect because, I mean, I think Nomia anticipated this, hence why they've also gone that Arthas as well as the Greymane. It then also doesn't give away too much more about their draft. I mean, Nomia, they've shown that they also like to play with globals, which can be very strong. However, they have banned the Dahaka out. So Falstad would be, I guess, the only other, contested pick, if you will, on Dragonshire.
It's really interesting, actually, to see how this draft's opened up so far, because it's quite reminiscent of what we saw, actually, at the Eastern Clash of both L5 and Tempest. They, on the side of Crimson, went for what we see so far, and they actually paired it with a Zerator and a Dahaka. Now, with Dahaka being taken away, obviously, as you talked about, does deny that global pressure, which is arguably the best use on this map in particular. Falstad is still a potential idea, but if I'm flinging it onto the side of Nomia, knowing Ryu, I'm thinking Illidan. Yeah, I'm thinking Illidan. With Tyrell being banned away as well, it's looking more and more attractive, despite the amount of threats with the Luther and Muradin. Still, you've got the potential to jump on in with the Greymane, with the Arthas, get kills and get out.
And I mean, touching on that, I do know Ryumak is very comfortable with both heroes. So it just depends on how do they want to play. Do they want more aggression in terms of that Illidan diving the backline, having that sustained damage? Or do they want to have the safety with Falstad as well as that disengage and engaging tool? A lot of people, they do like Falstad, yes, but he can be blown up quite easily, especially if one stun lands on him. There's a lot of follow-up crowd control.
What are they going to go for? They're not going to go for the Illidan. They're going to go for the Malfurion. So they're going to lock in with the tank Shredder, if you will, and Rhaegar, because they want to guarantee a reliable buff with that ancestral healing plus the cleansing totem. Oh, sorry, not the cleansing totem. The cleanse itself plus the slowing totem to allow, Arthas and Greymane to get into that backline, slow them down. On the flip side of that, Vandy, I'm wondering if they predicted that the Leoric would be the response for that top lane.
I'm wondering. I mean, it could be that Malthael very strong, like you said, at shredding tanks, which Muradin has a lot. Malthael is arguably one of the best counters to Muradin, especially once he starts getting that Reaper's Mark going. I mean, if they pick a Leoric now, or if they pick any more of a front line, it can really play into that Malthael, really justify that pick at the moment. But I mean, it's already done enough. I think, yeah, either Nomia is trying to use it as a deterrent or really just to weaken the front line of Crimson because they say, you know, we've got percentile-based damage now. That's, I guess, what you can do with that Malthael. On the side of Crimson, though, like I said, I'm just worried about how much crowd control they're packing. Stitches is still on the board as well.
I was looking to see if they went for the Lunara. Lunara had actually done a lot of work for them, but they decided they want the global power. Fausted is going to come into the fold of things, and with them having Genji, the threat of the Fausted getting bodied is not going to be there. They can use the Gust to control these fights, control how Nomia decides to engage. And then you got big man Thrall himself, not Green Jesus. He's on fire. He's looking to make some lit plays, and we'll have to see what he can bring to the table.
He's on fire with that skin. And yeah, I mean, Thrall, he fell so far out of the meta for a while, but really we're starting to see a lot of teams start to pick him up, especially in the Western and Eastern clash. I was quite surprised. I mean, we saw him coming out and he really did shine.
For the Thrall ultimate, I suppose you've got two potential ideas here. You've got the Earthquake to sit around, but they don't really have the most sustained damage. It's more so get in, get out, do your job. I'm thinking the Sundering to break up this dive engage, find that pick with the likes of Muradin, split the team apart with the Gust, and take it from there. And with that global advantage really in their court right now, that's something they need to utilize. But on the flip side of that is Nomia now with their 5th and final pick to round this composition out. They go for the Li Ming.
They got the poke now. They were definitely, I mean, Grey Mane, a little bit of poke, but this can also help with the siege aspect.
Yeah.
And I do like that as well. A bit of safety they realize because Faustad as well, he can poke quite a lot from safety. Same with Genji. It's about stopping. If they get the resets, we can really start to see the ball rolling on either team, actually.
Yeah, both Genji and Li Ming are respectively looking to try and do work for their team. It's going to be quite cool to see how these two different team comps clash. A lot of it's going to be down to how the Faustad manipulates that one with the Gust potential. Because if he whiffs it, or if he gets pressured too early on, then Nomia have a lot of control on their side, which otherwise they would have to be quite careful and mindful of.
And as well, how they use that global aspect completely. I mean, we've often seen with Malthael Ryu previously in the past, when he does play that hero, he just sits in the lane. He wins that lane. He doesn't. Almost, it's up to Nomia. It's like, all right, guys, this is going to be a 4v5. My contribution will be here. Almost like that Abatha. And yeah, it's going to be, will Faustad be locked up trying to deal with that? Like, we have to wait and see. It can really help nullify that global. If not, Nomia could be on the flip side trying to catch up on that experience.
Well, Vanny, it's been a while, but let's jump straight back into things. Week 1 of the playoffs, ANZ season number 4. A lot on the line here for teams looking to try and compete for the big one, off for BlizzCon. Let's introduce this team on the left. No stranger to the scene, but with new people on the roster, it is Team Nomia. Fat94, the captain, leading on Grey Mane. Vanilla playing Rhaegar. John on Li Ming. Ryu on Malthael. And Penta on Arthas.
And on the red side, aptly named as well, we've got Team Crimson. Definitely showing that they're out for blood, proving very strong that one-day qualifier we had. One-day competition we have. But we've got Altivian on Genji, Leica playing Muradin, Jesmez on Thrall, and Moon Druid on Uther, plus Azir playing Faustad.
Crimson Gaming with the crimson colours. If they have the synergy in that regard, then who knows what could happen in this game. But as always, Vandy, it is the ANZ shenanigans. Level 1, going for that mid lane fight, go for the clear, look for that potential pick off to start things going.
They are. It's going to be a punch on, as we like to say. Leica already. He's got the armor, but that's the power of that Malthael. You can start to see his health just getting completely shredded. Crimson taking a lot of damage, forced to either tap in or at least retreat for now.
Yeah, not going to be too phased by that one, however. We have seen the meta change and sort of shift in a regard, meaning that third wind is that level 1 choice, and you get far more regeneration. You can tank as much as you like, and you can just back on out, relieving a lot of the pressure. But talking about pressure, there is pressure onto Penta, who takes a lot of damage to the face. He does manage to get out of harm's way, but he won't have the same regeneration as Muradin, and is forced to use that healing fountain.
Yep, Penta now, he's feeling the wrath. That's it. It's going to be that one stun, and then just the collapse of damage. They really need to watch out for that one. And like you said, with the Muradin, the third wind, that's kind of the bullying that Leica can do, and he's well aware of that. That passive as well will make sure Muradin's continuously healthy. He did, however, miss that Stormbolt, just going in on that altar there.
Stormbolt missed, but Altivian still dives on in, looking for that poke, looking for that potential to find a kill. Leica jumping out, he's got the armor, he's got the ability to survive, but now the attention is turned to Moondred, looking for an early first blood. The Howling Blast is there, and Nomia to get first blood.
did you see the Frozen Tempest just getting so much value there as well? There was just going to be no retreat. And that's where, as we said, Uther, definitely top tier support, but can struggle in the healing department. Dragon Knight now, the first one of the game, picked up by John, wasting no time going in mid lane. Because you've also forced the back.
Yeah, Malfiel exerting his pressure in the top lane there. Ryu just giving Jesmis such a rough time, forcing the pressure there, getting the early capture on it. And as a result of that pick on Moondred in the bot lane, a Dragon picked up pre-2 minutes.
And also that mid-front wall completely left undefended because Azure had to go back. So John already just wasting no time. Front wall now gone. And he's making no signs of stopping. He's happy to push while members of Nomia, they're sieging on all fronts. You can see they're quite pushed up in every single lane.
Yeah, the pressure currently really against Crimson Gaming. A level lead has been acquired as a result. The front wall in the mid lane has been pushed on down. And with Fausted being there, yes, I mean, it acts kind of like Asmonarm back in the day on this map where he was able to sort of dunk in both the lanes, get as many stacks as possible. The same can be said to this in that sort of analogy. He can rotate freely with that flight. And talking about rotations, he's walking up to the top lane. But Rio has that game sense.
He does. He makes sure that he's going to be in no trouble at all. The fact that there's already a rotation with no value, definitely not what Crimson were hoping for. They need to be able to get kills with these rotations.
Yeah, Nomia being proactive right now. They're the ones leading the charge in terms of picking up these minions. They go for the Giants. No response from Crimson Gaming so far, and they go for the Knights as well. The healing ward is there. They'll have to sustain. And this is interesting to see, actually. We discussed Nomia being this new roster with the 3 core members, but there's changes despite that. Fat94 is no longer the melee flex. He's actually been put onto the ranged assassin now to complement John.
I mean, there was a little bit of a meme. I stopped by Ben's Twitch channel the other day when he was streaming, and everyone was laughing that he got given the ranged assassin role. But I mean, he's doing a bang-up job so far. Let's see if he can continue to do it. Nomia as well, they're exerting so much pressure on the map. Like you said, new faces, but this is the same old Nomia that we know. Any chance they get to continue their snowball, which they've already started, they will take.
Yeah, experience cannot be bought, it cannot be taught, it has to come with time, and that's exactly what they're going to do right now. Pushing in this bot lane, keeping up that 1 level lead, utilising the Giants, which now have been, I suppose, complemented by the fact that Crimson have gone for the same, but Lyke is going for the flip around. He's looking for that stun. The Stormbolt once again does not connect. This is not looking good, but Fat94 does bite off a fair bit of damage there from Altivian.
Altivian, he's been doing work with that Genji, playing nicely, doing the damage and basically doing the Genji dance, as I like to call it, deflecting away. Agile dismount gets him out of trouble. That's how he needs to play. Anytime members of Nomia low, you need to watch out, and I'm sure they're well aware of it. I mean, they've also are running the reset, like I said. In these team fights, it's going to come down to who can get the first reset, I feel.
Double Howling Blast connecting Penta so on point with his CC. Like having a bit of a rough time with these Storm Bolts, but he's going for the turnaround. It does connect this time. Azure is in the bot lane. They've switched Azure and Altivian for the meantime as he looks to try and snipe out John, which has had such a free reign and this ability to roam around without any care in the world. But let's talk about talents. During the downtime, looking at Thrall, the build, this really is the build we saw at the Western Clash. This seems to be the build to deal with this almost stale solo top laning niche with the likes of Dahaka, Arthas, but they are fighting in the bot lane there, Vandy. They're punching on.
They really are. It looks like John now is the target of damage, but from out of almost nowhere, Fat94 gets the kill right onto Lyca's Muradin.
Yeah, they're split. They are still looking for more blood. They pick up a double kill, maybe a triple kill as Altivian is low. The Reflector's down. He gets Rhaegar, however. John is looking for it. The magic missiles do connect. He gets the reset, and Altivian survives on 50 health, but it's a 3-for-1 and another DK.
Amazing. As I said, it looked like John was going to be the focus. It looked really nice for Crimson, but Nomia, I believe they were using him as bait. They knew how to react and they got the kills. Their first on Lyca, second on Moondred, and the third one up the top lane as well. Like, that's value. That's bang for buck right there. With 10 now being acquired, we can see their heroics of choice. With the Curse, Bullet, Ancestral Healing, Wave of Force, Demented Souls, and Army of the Dead. Nothing too out of the ordinary right there, but I do like that Wave of Force from the Li Ming. Oftentimes, it just makes it easier, all the more easier to deal with such a dive-heavy comp.
And there it comes out, looking to try and get some kills early. Utilise the fact that they have the 10 advantage, and that's exactly what they're doing. Ooh, Lyca's so low. Does get the Dwarven Toss at the very last second. Otherwise, he was surely a dead man walking. But this is interesting, right, with the Grey Mane, how the West and the East decide to play it. One going for the Cursed Bullet, the other going for the throat. And it seems to be that we just love the value. Chunking 35% of your health, we act as a starter, and Li Ming acts as the finisher.
we're all about the percentile-based damage. And I mean, I love what Nomia did there as well by pushing the bottom lane and the top lane. It just really, it was a decision that Crimson had to make. Where do they pull their resources? Where do they pull their men? And that allowed Nomia to actually get quite a lot of value. Luckily, that top fort is still standing, but the bottom one fell in the meantime. Nice chunk of experience right there. And Nomia also very far in the lead in terms of structures now.
Ultimates are online for Crimson Gaming, rotating all 5 members to pick up these giants. Such a huge commitment. They need to find value, and right now they're looking for it. Vanilla, once again, jukes the Stormbot like it needs to be on point with these ones, but Jesmis is not going to miss. The Feral Spirit comes out. Even the Earthquake too. Flashbacks to Christchurch as they pick up another kill.
Oh my goodness. I love the way Crimson executed that fight. And really, I mean, they knew exactly what needed to be done. By committing so many resources to Vanilla, I mean, you might say that, but that actually does put Nomia back a little bit, and it frees up the map. So now we can see the boys, they can actually split up their resources, they can get a camp and just get a bit of breathing room just before Nomia hit 13.
It's cool to see that they actually found their value with that one, and the fact that he went to the Earthquake when I was almost certainly sure it was going to be the Sundering to split apart the diving squad, but the Earthquake will have some value in terms of slowing down how they advance, but also the fact of the matter is, when it gets to level 20, if we reach that stage, there is a cool interaction where the upgraded version gives all your team a shield when that wave procs off, so potentially enough to sustain, alleviate some of the pressure from Uther, which will sort of stop to struggle in that sustaining engagement.
Have to agree. I mean, just looking at the composition of Nomia, I think Earthquake as well, quite good in the terms of when you've got that Malthael as well. We know if he's slowed, it just makes it all that much harder for him to really get the most value out of Tormented Souls. But this is what I was talking about. Ryu in that top lane, immovable. Like, he has been there the entire game, whereas Azure has been run ragged. He gets to clear the lane, sure, but every time he leaves, there's just no respite.
Well, I mean, let's talk about this in terms of why Nomia is so far ahead right now. They're a level and a half lead, arguably. As you mentioned, Rio got all the pressure in the world. They haven't picked up a single tower. I mean, glance at the bottom lane. That tower is on 10 health. You'd literally sneeze on it, as we like to say, and it would fall. But talk about sneezing. Fights are happening. Earthquake is in the mid lane. A very early Divine Shot on RTV there with the Dragon Blade. Looking to try and make something happen, but it does not happen. They get the Ancestral. They keep stabilizing. Rio Mac is looking for it, and it all comes across. John picks up the kill.
I really like the way Ryumak played that. The fact that he waited just until Racetrack was about to expire to finish off the kill and refresh the mark, very smart play. That's really knowing the limits of your hero.
Oh, the horses though, Fan 94 is going to get picked off. He went for the capture onto Azure. The Knights were pushed again. He tried to even things out, but he doesn't. He gets punished. Now Azure gets a lot of pressure. They can try and trade out here with the third dragon for Nomia. They can try and do something in the top lane of their own.
Yeah, Azure knows that he needs to push and capitalize on that. As you were saying, Fat94 earlier bit off more than he can chew. Definitely did in that situation right there.
Rio is systematically clearing out these lanes, keeping the pressure out. The only fort that remains right now for Crimson is that top one, but it's very low itself. Now he's banging on towards the mid lane, wanting to expose that keep, open up a win condition. Arguably the weakest keep to go for, as when you push for the core, you have the threat of those keeps on both the top and bottom side to deal with and maneuver around, but Riomac is going to burst out of this one. They are looking for the disengage. Tormented Souls is down for 25, same with Ancestral, and level 16 is on the horizon for them.
Yeah, I mean, Crimson knew they could not take that fight, especially because their heroics were down still and on cooldown. If they were up, I think it would have been a totally different story, because they would have known that they were still waiting for the Nomia ones to come online. But we're almost up to a talent to disadvantage on the side of Crimson. If Nomia can pick up 16 and force the next fight, he's gonna die. I mean, Jesmez is looking like he's in a bit of trouble. They had to use 2 cooldowns there.
That's 2 big cooldowns. 2 big cooldowns down. 100 seconds on the Earthquake. He's up in 30 seconds. Arguably should have hung on to it, but hey, it's not going to be enough. The Gust was used as well. They stacked the cooldowns. Now 16 is available for Nomia, and they have all the control in the world. The Death Bridge pushing in against them. They opened up mid lane before. I would love to see him collapse on bot lane, look for a kill, and look for a keep.
I believe that's what they are doing. Penta, he's ready, but he does not want to fall victim to those bush hiding strategies. Very good to see Nomia that they're using their skill shots. Never face check. If you can get one thing out of these games, don't ever face check.
And face checking is a thing that they're not going to do in this case. They are going to back away.
No kills either. Crimson had the sense as well to back away.
I don't know where I was going with that one. I was trying to think of something, but The Bermuda Triangle is the call. They run away. They're keeping up with Azure. It's interesting to note, actually, because they have that global advantage, they aren't able to get too much from it. They're trying to push out any chance. But Ryu's like, cool, whilst you're pushing against that wave that I've done, I can just roam around. I can find kills. I can't to the top lane. I get all the XP. I don't miss any soak.
Really, he doesn't. And I mean, if we bring up the numbers, let's just see how much experience he's given to the team Nomia. He's contributed a massive 8k, but in a surprising twist, we've got John on 11k. So the kills, the experience from kills must be really helping out Nomia, in addition to also the time he spent in lane.
Yeah, I mean, if you actually stay on that tab for a little bit longer, you can see the biggest difference is the structural impact, 6,000 to 800. That's the reason Nomia are so far ahead with this one, because they're finding kills and they're utilizing that window, that opportunity to get structures, widen their horizons, look for more ganking opportunities, and look for kills as Azure drops low.
He is in so much trouble. That Gust came out just in the nick of time. Even the armor was enough, but no. Fat 94 out in the wings seals the deal. A little bit of a mishap with the Ancestral heal, I think.
Yeah, the Ancestral there preemptively popped to assume that a lot of damage was going to come across, but it wasn't. The Earthquake is there slowing him down. Divine Shield onto a DeWolf. Don't think I've seen that one in a long time, but it's not going to be enough because Uther falls on down. He's in the holy form. He's doing some things with those spells, but it's going to be Nomia once again looking for the DK cap. Ultivian doing what he can in the bot lane, but will it be enough?
Ultivian, he's just stalling the cap, and I mean, that's all he can do at this point. But Nomia, once again, any chance they get, they're taking the Merc camp so that they can have that passively pushing while they go. Buy more time to get that Dragon Knight, and this could potentially be the one. All they need is for one keep to be opened up, a kill or two, and that's it. Nomia can go for the win here.
Ultivian buying a little bit of time there with the Swift Strike in, has the sub agility out, cannot stick around with that one. Dragon Knight picked up for the 4th time now by Nomia, which you would imagine is going straight to that bot lane. It is 14 minutes, but this one will pack a punch. One tower already quite low, the second taking a few pot shots, but the team here will be looking to fight for this one. They are 16 now, Crimson Gaming. They need to make something happen despite not having those impactful ultimates for another 25.
They do. They will look to see that they can really capitalize on any overstaying or any missteps by Nomia. But things are tense here. If they lose this heat, it's going to be down to the fight. Nomia, they will go for the core. They know what they're up against. They've been to the international events. They've been up against some of the best. They know what their win condition is.
Yeah, Riomac having the experience from playing other games as well. He's not going to be any stranger to the tilting factor with the ability to keep his calm. And they are just going straight for the rotation, playing it systematically. We've got the keep now. Cool, that's our win condition. We can control the bot lane mercs and keep the pressure on the map, locking Azure even more than he already has been so far. Now they open up the mid lane, and now they're running for 20.
Yeah, they're running for 20, so very, very smart. They did not try to go straight onto the core. It was about being like, all right, we've got enough experience. We're on the brink of 20. Let's get that. Also, next fight, like you said, bottom is exposed. That's going to be our path to victory.
Every ultimate is available. Leica is looking for this one as the Dragon falls. They look for Fat 94. Stormbolt comes across. Preemptive cleanse is there, but they're going to go straight for him. The cleanse is good, but the Ancestral is even better. Divine Shield coming across down to Divine Genji. Can they find one reset? They're looking. They're hungry. They can't. Every ultimate used, except for the Army of the Dead. But no kill target just yet until Leica is so low, but the healing static will not be enough to stay for him.
Oh my goodness, one is all it takes. Moondred now in the firing range. Now he's next to full. Ultivian has to go back. Jesnez is the next to full. I don't know. Ultivian is out to safety, but they're both so low. That was the fight that Nomia wanted. It was really well done by Crimson. They knew that they had to fight now. Otherwise, they would just passively lose. It was going to be all or nothing. But that's going to be game. Nomia, this open court, 2 members down. There's no Gust, no Dragon Blade. I think it's going to be GG Skinny.
Just up in 10 seconds if they can hang on this long, but look at that call. It's getting so shredded. Genji looking for one kill, one way to slow this one down, but he just gets popped by the Arcane Orb flying towards his base. And in convincing fashion, 16 minutes into this one, the new Nomia roster show us a little glimpse of what they can do.
Indeed, it was wonderful to see the new faces, Ryumak and Penta. They felt quite at home. Crimson as well, they didn't play a bad game. It's more just they were getting out-rotated. They just didn't feel quite comfortable on this map, I felt. And like I was worried about, they just couldn't really utilize the global to the best of their abilities. A lot of that came to Ryumak, just being that immovable force in the top lane. And like I said, they had the game sense to know that they needed to fight. It just felt as though the difference was too great. If that was on even talent tiers and even experience, could have gone another way.
Yeah, we talk about it all the time on Dragon Shy. If you can't win one lane, you have to win another. And in that top lane there, as we talked about, Rhea was just an immovable object. There was nothing that the Faster could do. He's looking to try and make some gank attempts happen with that aggressive flight in, but he's permanently locked in with that base. And then the bot lane, every time they tried to go for an engage, the Storm Bolts weren't connecting. If they don't connect, well, a team like Nomia, with their experience, will punish you for that one. But that's game number 1 underway. It is the best of 3 series, so we will have another game right after this as we jump back to Kitfox.
Very much Skimmy and Vandy for an amazing, start of an amazing night. We see the Nomia lads picking up game number 1 of the series on Dragon Shy. That means we're going to switch things up a bit, and the old Crimson will get the next preference if they want the ban or the map. But we'll be back with that very, very shortly. If you haven't done so already, remember to type !GS HOTS into the Twitch chat to get your hands on a sweet, sweet Garrosh skin. Thanks to our friends over at Blizzard ANZ for throwing that one up for grabs. So we're just going to take a quick 3-minute break, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go anywhere. We will be back right after.